Vancouver, British Columbia, the most beautiful city in Canada, consistently ranked amongst the top 10 places to live in the world. Hosts of the 2010 Winter Olympics and home of the NHL's Vancouver Canucks. Also home to some of Canada's toughest mixed martial arts fighters and athletes today. We met up with Bruno Capdeville, a Brazilian Jiu-jitsu black belt and professional MMA fighter who was training for an upcoming fight. Bruno was born in Lisbon, Portugal, the hidden gem of Europe, a country of 11 million with some of the nicest people on the planet and also having some of the best food in the world.
You know, people back home, they get so proud from seeing, yeah, he's fighting, I come from a small country, People get proud very easily, and that's good, I love it. I do that for them, for my students especially. I know my family, they don't like me fighting and getting beat up and cut, but, it's just what it is. I do it for fun, I do it for the skill, to show that, show that I'm good at what I do. Hopefully, I can show that. And I love teaching too, I love students being proud of the professor,
Next up was training with former Olympic Greco-Roman wrestler Colin Daynes, a powerful MMA fighter bringing with him a wealth of knowledge about wrestling, conditioning, and focus.
Well, wrestling's a great base to have for mixed martial arts because you can control where the fight's going to take place. If things aren't going well on the feet, you get the takedown and take the fight to the ground. So, I think having that, I won't say control, you can't easily just take somebody down, but, definitely it's an advantage to help dictate where the fight's going to happen.
Today, Colin Daynes coaches fighters locally and internationally. He holds an undefeated record in MMA and may step into the cage once again.
I'm a big sort of task-oriented coach. I keep the fighter away from the emotional side of it. Sometimes if you're just focused on the win, I always think process and not outcome. If you're focused on the outcome, like I want to win, that's all, I want to win this fight. The problem with that is when you're not winning, all you're thinking about out there is the fact that you're not winning, that you're losing, you're getting your ass kicked. So when you focus more on the strategy of it, when it's not going well, your mind immediately goes to what can I do to change this fight and start head it in my direction.
I think it was a study made, like wrestling is actually the toughest sport on earth, right? And the only reason why it is because those guys, they train the way they fight. And MMA I think came down to third just for the reason that you cannot train the way you fight because otherwise you'll never make it to the fighting day, right? Because it's just way too hard. And what wrestlers do, that's basically it. Like they take the guy down, and wrestlers, it's so funny because you're such, especially American wrestlers, you're such a stereotype, right? They're all the short, stocky with a big neck, right? And then they're very strong-minded people, right? Because they're training so hard, especially the ones that actually have succeeded, like they've been All-American or they've been somehow like they've won some kind of championships.
Today's MMA rules favor wrestlers for takedowns and top control. The rules also encourage stand-ups from stalled ground fighting. So a jiu-jitsu fighter who methodically fights from his back is always at a disadvantage in an MMA fight today. Today you can win a fight with a few more jabs, leg kicks, and takedowns than your opponent. Fighting from your back has strategically been nullified as a position of advantage with today's MMA rules. It's ironic because all the champions of the original no points and no time limit MMA era were jiu-jitsu fighters.
A lot of people goes there, they not go there to fight, they go there to win, right? I mean, in the end of the day, you know, like, once again, a lot of people, they call themselves martial artists, and other ones call themselves fighters, right? I call myself a martial artist, but I'm going to a fight, right? I go there to fight, I go there to compete, to show my skill. I don't go there to hold back and win by points, right? Martial arts doesn't defend that, right?
After a morning run near beautiful Kitts Beach, Bruno sometimes gets a morning coffee before he hits the gym. It's a time to relax as the rest of the day is filled to the brim with something to do or somewhere to be.
Do you know I the Tiger?
Yeah.
And I'm just like going to the shop to get my car fixed, right? And then I just start shadow boxing, you know, in the car. And just people just looking at me. I just got totally caught, right? You just got caught in a moment, you know, because it's something you do, you know, like you get all excited. I'm always shadow boxing. You're always thinking about fighting and stuff, you know. And all of a sudden you got people looking at you from the outside of the car thinking you were a weirdo. It's so embarrassing. It's funny.
The dedication, discipline, and sacrifice it takes to be an MMA fighter is incredible. Your average guy could never do this. While most striking is technical and knockouts are timed with precision, you can get a lucky knockout in a fight, but you can never get a lucky submission. Next, it was time to train with Bruno's jiu-jitsu coach, Bibiano Fernandes. A 5-time Brazilian jiu-jitsu world champion, 3-time Pan-American champion, former Dream Bantamweight and Dream Featherweight MMA champion, and current 1FC fighter. Bibiano is one of the most technical Brazilian jiu-jitsu and MMA fighters on the planet today.
Bibiano is a perfect example. Everyone goes on trains with the best and do this and do that. Bibiano Fernandes, I got so many guys that I trained with that for me, they had the quality to be champions. They never became champions. Till today, they're not. They haven't been champions. Bibiano Fernandes was a 5-time world champion, and everyone split up at the time when we're training, you know, gym politics once again, and everyone goes their own way, like always, right? And Bibiano today is the only champion out of that gym, right? And you know, like once again, when you're a champion, you're a champion. You become a champion from whatever you are. I can be in China, become a champion. I can be in India, become a champion. Like it doesn't really matter. People they have the tendency to go and look for other people. Oh, I want to train with a champion to be a champion. No, a champion is always a champion. That's it. You're born with the heart or you don't. Like it's bottom line.
So this is the best thing. Be good here, be good outside, and be good because people watch who you are. You know what I mean? And live your life with the reason. We always say that for Bruno. For this, I really respect Bruno. He's a very good boy. He's very humble, and that's a big thing for me. I did jiu-jitsu when I was 16. I did jiu-jitsu. I watched Royce, and I said, wow, I want to be same this guy. But not because he is. Not because Royce, no, because his skill he has. You know what I mean? He's small, tiny guy, and UFC 1, 2, 3, he did a good job there, and they win everything. And because for me, skill is a very big thing. For me, I believe skill. I'm a small guy, but I train a lot of big guys, a lot of big guys. Yeah. And everyone gives you big. And I believe the skill, you know what I mean? For sure you need to training, improve yourself, be good, strong mind, and discipline. That's the big thing. Go, Bruno.
You got to give the props to the Gracie because the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a completely different ball game, right? It's a way more complex, way more complete martial art than just a traditional Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, they started all, they introduced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the world. They brought it to the United States. They created UFC. I mean, you own everything, you know, you basically owe everything to that family, right? Like they started it all. Look at UFC where it is right now, right?
Quando tá aqui, ó, aqui tu tá fazendo, tu faz aqui, aí tu joga aqui, aí tu joga aqui, tu faz isso, aí tu joga pro lado aqui, ó. Aí tu vem pro choke, entendeu? Uhum. E eu já faço diferente de ti, olha o que eu faço. Um pouquinho diferente, eu venho aqui, aí eu entro um, aí eu tenho que segurar o outro, aí eu vou em cima. Aí eu te caro, aí eu fechei o triângulo. Entendeu? Aí eu vou para o outro.
Back to the gym for some intense cardio training to push Bruno's endurance to the next level.
And I don't look for the point. I don't look that way. I look only move forward because that's coming from me. I come for jiu-jitsu. Always I fight jiu-jitsu, always I try finish. And today maybe I can knock out the people. I did last fight and I can keep it move forward.
Next up was Tony Pep, former Commonwealth and IBO lightweight and featherweight boxing champion. Tony once fought for the WBO title. He also fought a tough 12-round battle against Floyd Mayweather during his career. He now teaches and trains boxers and MMA fighters out of his own gym.
Again. Again. And right. Again. And a hook. Again. And a hook again. And under. Base of the bowl. Watch channel 0. Yeah, you can. Okay, do that again. See my. Boom. Right there. And then a fucking screaming right hook. Bang, bang. Right? Because you might catch that first one, but then there's the second one. And you always throw the last fight. Again. And a hook. Again. And a right. Again. Again. 1, 2. 1, 2 under. Again. Again. 1, 2. Under. Hook to the body. And right on top. Nice. 1, 2. Oh. Again. Right on my glove. I think when you lose, you don't lose for the night, you lose forever. So, of course I'm scared. I'm just more scared of not giving my all, I think. As long as I train my hardest and I give it my all in the ring or cage, I think I'm happy with that. But what I am scared of is not preparing right and not giving my all. And, you never want to quit in a fight, right? Because it's something that you have to live with for the rest of your life, so. You can train your body over and over again. You can turn it into a machine, but to find, at the higher levels, I think the mental game is huge. It's what separates pretenders from the contenders. I think, to have that mental edge, because in fighting, when you get in those bad spots, when your body wants to quit and your mind tells you to quit, but if you develop your mind to know that you can overcome anything, I think that's what separates a lot of guys. Some guys just know how to win, right? And I think that's something you have to develop in your mind. And it's something that I try and train all the time, like reading books. And over, the more experience you get in the sport, I think you develop a better mental game. But, it's massive, the mental side of it, massive.
Fight night. Backstage. It's time to focus. It's time to fight. The atmosphere was electric as the crowd entered the arena.
Really dynamic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and you gotta help it out. Arm in the throat. Press his head down. Yeah.
Two more fights.
There you go.
Whether it be before the fight or in between rounds, I'm just trying to keep him calm, keep him focused on what he has to do. Performing in sports is, there's a huge mental aspect of it, and some guys come physically prepared, and then, if they can't handle it mentally, everything breaks down and the fight goes out the window.
I'm a very disciplined guy, and I respect people, and always I look up for another person, and I respect my coach, and because I believe you always have to look up to somebody. That's the way you can keep it the better.
It was a long walk to the cage. All the blood, sweat, and tears from training. It came down to this.
Introducing Bruno Capdeville.
It was an adrenaline rush, and just as fast as the fight began, it was over.
Bruno Capdeville opened a big cut above the right eye. Right in front of us, a very active corner over here. Ryan Chiappe wondering the severity of that cut. That's it right now. Nick Reed's the fight. Thank you. Great. I know Nick was a top opponent, so awesome. Great win for me. I needed that win. Thank you. I wanted to win this class, man. That was good. That was a class fight. I do it. Big win. Woo! Very nice. Fucking love it. That's why I fight.